2 as an adult and has a cane as an old man. Oh, well, that's obvious. Whew. My name is Sylvia, and I wouldn't hurt you. I was just saying what I was told to say. But I wouldn't go into that tunnel if I were you. Come back. I want to get to know the handsome spotted one. The handsome spotted one? Yes, Sebastian, is that you? All right. Yes, she meant me. Wow, a lady sphinx. What happened next? Go on, Jackson, tell them. Okay, Helen. Well, after the Sphinx, we walked through a walled tunnel lit by torches. As we walked forward, we felt an increasing heat, and we saw a bright light ahead of us. Then a heavy breathing sound made us stop in our tracks. I looked ahead through the end of the tunnel and peered across a vast cavern filled with gems, gold coins, and other treasures. And there was a huge, sleeping dragon. Wisps of smoke rose from its nostrils. Gerald centaur suddenly spotted a gleam of light above the dragon. A magic glow sparkled from the magic arrows and bow atop a pair of columns behind the dragon. Sebastian then decided to fly quietly above the dragon and deliver the bows and arrows to Gerald centaur. Gerald caught the bows and arrows dropped by Sebastian. When Sebastian landed on his feet, the sound of the coins awoke the dragon. His eyes glowed red and yellow hot as he lifted his head above the ground and spread his webbed wings. His scaly claws thundered across the piles of gold coins on the ground. Then his head swirled around a long snake-like neck, searching with glowing eyes for us. Then he spotted us. Then his head lunged forward. Gerald placed a magic arrow on his bow, aimed and fired. The magic arrow shot upward and exploded on the dragon's chest. But the dragon was unharmed. We ran from the monster's snapping jaws while Gerald shot more lightning arrows at the beast. Then the dragon pulled his head back and unleashed a blast of fire at us. We quickly ran and flew back through the tunnel before the flames blasted the ground behind us. Then the dragon let out another gust of fire into the tunnel. We quickly ran out of the tunnel before the fire could get to us. Gerald now had the magic bow and arrows. We just needed to get off the island when suddenly we stopped abruptly in our tracks. For in front of us were the witches Grimelda and Marlena. Well, Gerald, you have the arrows I took from your great-grandfather. You stole them, but they work only for centaurs. That does not matter. Their magic should be mine. And now that we're together again, let the party begin. Marlena shot lightning bolts at us. We jumped and flew out of the way. I fought Brutus with my sword and flew out of the way of his blade. But Kala, his girlfriend, pulled me down with her whip. Then Helen shot downward and knocked Kala to the ground. Kala and Helen faced each other. Helen charged with her daggers. But Kala did a somersault above Helen, landed behind her, grabbed Helen with her whip, and threw Helen to the ground. At that moment, Gerald Centaur saw Claudius Cyclops and Otis charge at him from two directions. But Sebastian flew down and lifted Gerald off the ground, and Claudius and Otis knocked each other out instead. Sebastian held Gerald aloft in mid-air. "I thought you needed a lift." While Sebastian and Gerald flew above the battle, the dragon emerged from the tunnel, spewing flames in all directions. "Yes, kill them, my precious," said Grimelda. Just as Precious lunged at Sebastian and Gerald's centaur, Sylvia Sphinx lunged onto the top of the dragon's head. "No, don't you hurt the spotted one." Sylvia hung onto the monster's jaws and covered his eyes. "Traitor! Let Precious go!" At that moment, Gerald Centaur poured a magic arrow on his bow and launched it in the direction of the dragon's open mouth. The arrow shot into the dragon's jaws and went down his throat. The dragon shook in pain and then broke apart into magic fragments. "Oh crap! The magic of the dragon held the island together." With that explosion, the island began to shake and crack open. Marlena floated in front of Sebastian and Gerald. "Don't go, Gerald. Stay with me." "Sorry. Gotta go, excuse me," said Sebastian. We all returned to the seashell boat. We escaped the island just in time. Marlena and Grimelda lifted off from the island on their flying barracuda. Behind them flew the harpies, carrying Kala, Brutus, Claudius, and Otis. A harpy carried Otis by his rear end. Then the island sank beneath the waves. And that's when you showed up. I'm glad I met the Viking captain, Bodan, and we came on his ship, the Odin. Sylvia Sphinx all right, Sebastian? I hope so. You can't lose me that easily, Sebastian. No dragons were destroyed in the making of this motion picture, but some Vikings became very seasick.